In studio with me are a pair of tennis pros for the area, Tyler Como and Warren Aguinaldo. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. It's a pretty exciting time, really, to be a tennis fan in Canada. I'm sure you've probably felt some of that buzz within your tennis lesson groups and other people who play in the area.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us out here. Definitely a lot of people talking about tennis lately with Bianca going so far, winning the US Open. So I know we were at a tournament when it happened, and the tournament kind of went on pause. Everyone kind of came on in, and we started watching kind of like the magic unfold.
Yeah, and you guys were playing in Saskatoon, correct?
Yeah, we were playing in Saskatoon that week, and you could just hear from the inside of the building everyone going off as soon as she got that match point. Even around people that don't typically watch tennis, they're asking me about it. It's like, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
they're all excited about it too.
Has there been a time, I know Milos obviously made it to a Wimbledon final, but can you remember a buzz around the country like this?
I think it would go back to Daniel Nestor.
Yeah.
Back when his Nestor went pretty far in doubles for a little while there, and so there was a big buzz with him pursuing it.
Okay. And with like Pospisil always kind of hanging around too, and then when Dennis went on a few runs and going deep into tournaments in the previous 2 years, that was the one time I started to see more people show up to tennis in Lloydminster.
And Tyler, you have a background of competing against some pretty high tennis players yourself, including Vasek Pospisil?
Yes and no. So I grew up in the Northwest Territories, and the advantage of that was we got to participate in Canada Games, we got to participate in Western Games, we would get to travel and play more of the Canadian tour side of things. And so I had the privilege or the honor of getting to go be a competitor at Canada Summer Games, where we were playing top-ranked players from the provinces coming up. And so yeah, he was a competitor at the games at the time, and it's just another level of tennis.
Yeah, I guess describe the difference for the folks who don't really understand just how much precision there is compared to someone who, like as you said, you guys play regularly versus someone who makes it their entire profession.
It's a difficult thing to describe because you watch it on TV and you watch people play, and your instant thought is that looks like something we could probably do. And then once that racket goes in your hand and you hit the ball for the first time and you send it 50 feet over the fence, you realize how reactive the racket and ball are together. And so it's just the discipline and the control to hit with such power and pace while making it look so natural.
Right.
Makes the sport look like people can jump in. But it's one of the most, I would say, difficult sports to pick up because of how responsive that ball is on a racket.
Okay. And how much time does it take to get sort of that base technique down, whether it's the changing of different grips and just knowing the timing of where the ball's bouncing to, all those sorts of things?
I'd say that's a hard one to gauge, just given with practice time and being out on the court, it comes with consistency of being out there, right? It's kind of like riding a bike. You do it well, not quite like riding a bike. Because with riding a bike, you pick it up, and then you can kind of find your balance later down the road. But with tennis, you kind of have to keep it in practice and really spend the time consistently to find that control. So with Bianca, she was 10 years old when she started playing. She's 19 now. She figured it out within the 9 years, wins a US Open. Whereas you can have someone like us who've been playing for 15 to 20, 30 years. We didn't win a US Open, but it comes with the hard work and consistency of practice.
For sure. And then obviously it helps when you get to work at a training center, which there are only a couple of in the country.
Yeah, there's not as many training centers that would be ideal for national programs. I think we said there were 2 in Alberta, the one in Toronto, one in BC. I think it's based out of Vancouver, though.
Yep, and there should be one in Quebec.
And one in Quebec as well, but there's other provinces like the Maritime provinces, Saskatchewan itself, and all of the territories. There's no national training center facility for this sport.
For sure. And until more U.S. Opens and such are won, we probably won't see one quite as big. But again, Bianca winning is certainly a big accomplishment.